Hi, I am the grateful and victorious Tina Maria Scott, and I am happy to be back with you on today. Today's victorious thought is trust is victorious today. Yes, it is. When we trust, we have a zest for life, knowing that God is with us always and that God is the only power and presence in our life. Yes, when we know that, we can totally trust in God and don't worry about a thing. And so today, I want you to set an intention for trusting God. Just take one day at a time all this week. See how many times throughout this week that you totally put your trust in God, that you didn't worry about anything, even though things were popping up, giving you an opportunity to worry, to doubt, to fear. You said, oh no, I trust God. God is here. I will not fear. I will not doubt. I will not worry. Pay attention to how many times you put your trust in God, knowing that everything is working out for your highest good. And then, will you please put in the comment section of this video, what it was that you had to put your trust in God in for the situation. Yes. So if you're not a subscriber of my channel, please subscribe, like this video, share this video. Yes. So let's talk about trust being victorious today. I think about my grandmother, Lily Mae Jefferson. She's no longer with us in the physical. I can't touch her and kiss her anymore. But the beautiful thing, her spirit is still here. I can still feel my Nana's presence. I smell her perfume. This is God's universe. When God created us, and when this physical body is no longer working, that doesn't mean that we're not here. We're just not here in the physical anymore. So that gives me peace and joy to know that my loved ones are still right here with me, regardless to what's going on. And so, yes, let's talk about trust. Now, my Nana, Lily Mae Jefferson, she was a great example of trust and faith. She would always say, baby, don't worry about it. God ain't asleep. God's got it. And so I want to share an experience I had once when I was called for a job interview. I was laying down sleeping, and the phone rang, and I got up and answered it, and it was the Oakland Naval Supply Center calling, asking me to come and interview for a job that I had applied for years ago. And so I wasn't feeling all that great. And I called my grandmother and I said, Nana, I got a call to go for an interview. I said, but I'm not feeling great. I really don't feel like driving. And she says, baby, get up, get up. She says, go get your job. That's your job. She says, get up and get ready. She says, I'm going to talk to Jesus. And she says, you go to that interview. So, of course, I got up and I showered. And my prayer was, when I got into the vehicle to drive, I prayed and asked the Lord to help me to feel better, to help my energy rise. One thing I know is when we are being interviewed, they don't just listen to our words, they look at our body language. They're reading our body language, our energy, all of that is part of the interviewing process. And so, because I knew that, my prayer was to help me feel better, Lord, so when I got to the interview, I can do well on the interview. But Nana had already declared that the position was mine. She told me, baby, go get your job. So that's trust, that's faith. And Nana always had faith. I remember taking her to the doctor one day, and the doctor gave her a diagnosis, and she told the doctor, she says, you may be a doctor, but I know a doctor greater than you, and his name is Dr. Jesus, and that's who I'm depending on. And so I come from a family, my grandmother, my mother, my aunt are all women that love to pray. And so it's just in me. I love to pray too. I was raised praying. And so what is it that makes you trust the Lord? I tell you what it is that makes me trust the Lord. When I think about all the things that I've been through and God had brought me through, when something comes into my life that I say, "Oh no, I don't want to see this. I don't want to look at that." I have to look back at the other times how God came into my life and made things wonderful for me. And so that's what allows me to know that I can trust in the Lord because God always comes through. There's a song that Donnie McClurkin sings again and again. He says, once again and again, God is coming through again and again. And every time God comes through, we trust more and more. Yes. And so I encourage you this week, regards to what you may be going through. A lot of during this time is the COVID-19 is seems to be having its way with us, and some people have even died due to COVID-19. People have lost their jobs. There's just a lot of uncertainty right now in the world. And so my prayer is that even though all of this is going on, we're not denying it. And what we're knowing is that we can put our trust in God, and God is working it all out for our highest good. A lot of times things happen so we can get closer to people and build relationships. And I'm going to give an example, and then I'm going to say goodbye for now. The last example is myself living with my mom. Who would have thought that I would be living with my mom? I've been out on my own since I was 18 years old. 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, I moved into my mom's home. And one of the reasons is because of my temporary financial situation. I'm trusting that my financial situation is changing. But for right now, in this moment, rent is so high, it was just impossible for me to continue to live on my own without a roommate. And my mother, during that time, mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So it was like a win-win situation. I knew that I would have to take care of my mom during her recovery, and because I had to move out of the place that I was in because I could no longer afford to pay the rent that they were asking, I asked my mom if I could move in with her. So by me in with her, I had a place to stay, and then I could also take care of her. And so I'm talking about trust being victorious today. I'm trusting that regards to what my financial situation is right now, that there is a right and perfect living space, a home, a place where I can call my home, that God will bless me with on the funds that I will be able to pay for using the funds that I bring in at this time, knowing that my financial situation is changing as I speak, in the invisible, and it will manifest. I expect it to manifest. I don't know when, but I know that it is manifesting, and one day soon I will be able to have my space again. Like I said, I've been on my own ever since I was 18 years old, and I'm grateful that my mom opened up her home to me and allowed me to have a room within her home. And so the beautiful thing is, Mom and I, we have an opportunity to get to know each other and work some things out. Yes, I said it. I said it. We have an opportunity to work some things out and love each other unconditionally. I'm going to say it again. Trust is victorious today. So instead of me crying and say, oh Lord, I've been looking for a place. Every time I look for a place, they want X amount of dollars. I don't make that much money to pay for it and all of that. No, I'm here with my mother for a reason. And I'm trusting that the reason is for Mom and I to come just a little bit closer, a little bit closer. I'm trusting and I'm knowing. And then once our situation is where God wants it to be, then boom, all of a sudden, I guarantee you, boom, all of a sudden, that right and perfect home will say, here I am, Tina Maria. I was just waiting for you to work some stuff out with your mama. Yes, I did go there. I did not plan to go there, but I'm coming to you with my heart open and my mind open, and I'm in the raw at all times. So I just trust that something that I have said on this video has inspired you and encouraged you to always trust in the Lord with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, knowing that Jesus will work it out. Yes. Goodbye for now. I look forward to seeing you next week. Look forward to you joining me next week. Abundant blessings to you always. Goodbye for now.